It's like a countdown and everything. Think it worked? It's like a drum roll or something?
Maybe.
Oh, so lie, that means it's working? I was thinking it would be like a drum roll or something. So we're good?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that, 12:01. So we're trying out a new system again, so I hope it works. We'll cross our fingers. But good afternoon, everyone. My name is Steve Drew. I'm the Chief of Police here in Newport News, and this is one of our Facebook Live sessions. I'll be with you today from 12 to 1, or as long as the questions keep coming in, we'll continue to roll. And then again tonight at 6. And one of the reasons that we do these is one, we certainly have the COVID virus and has put some restrictions on able to meet as much, and my hope is that this is a way to reach more people at convenient times. So I'm not sure I understand all the likes and views and all those things, but I can see the messages that come through and able to respond. So it's just another way to kind of share things, what's going on in our department, in our community. This is your department, and I want to try to answer as many questions as I can. I see some people chiming in. I'm going to say hello just in a minute. I will read each question. I do get behind. My eyes don't move as fast as the screen. So any questions I miss, I will try to go back and hit. Jamie is here with me today to help keep me on track on anything that I miss, and Destiny Wilson is also helping out. So I need a lot of help, I guess is what I'm saying. But let me say some hellos. Let's see. Melena, Ralph, Prince, Barb, thank you guys. Thank you all for joining in today. I'll encourage any questions that, much love from Suffolk. How about that? All right. I want to encourage any questions that you have. I'd like to touch base with. Barb, I appreciate that. Melena, thank you. Ralph, it's good to see you, my friend. It means a lot. I was actually had a meeting today with Miss Brown, and she came up, and I wasn't sure what the meeting was going to be about, and we went into the Chief's conference room, and we sat down, and I was kind of taken back. She said, "Chief, I just want to pray with you." And many of you know I'm a man of faith. I fear God, and for her to sit down and just pray for guidance and wisdom, that meant a lot to me. So I appreciate that. Tiffany, it's good to have you on board. Tim, how are you? Ann, it's good to see you. Mike, am I reading that right? Mike?
Michelle.
Michelle, it's good to see you. Thank you for being back. What I want to start out with is a couple things that have been going on in the community, in our city, and as well as our department. Yeah, I can't wait for the CPA, AAA to start back as well. It's going to be great. I've been a Newport News resident my whole life until 7 months ago. York County now. York County? What? York County? Thank you very much. Support Black Lives as well as my love. Thank you all. Thank you, York County. You're still good though. You're still good. Latoya, it's good to have you back. Thank you very much. Very good. All right. So a couple things I wanted to touch base on. I'll hit real quick. I think it's important that the community knows what our crime rate is. When I first got here, I wanted to be sure that I stayed transparent. Carrie, it's good to have you on board. Thank you. Currently, our crime rate in the city of Newport News is down 6%. If we reported to the FBI today, crime is down 6% in the city. We continue to move in the right direction. Still have some issues with aggravated assaults. We do have our domestic violence team. A lot of you heard me talk about that. That's on board now. Really making good strides in our property crimes, our thefts, and our burglaries. Like I said, we're heading in the right direction. And despite all the things that are going on around the country and here in our community, I do not want to take our eye off the ball on making sure that we're serving our citizens, that we're in our neighborhoods, we're interacting with people, and that our crime stays. Citizens are still doing a very, very good job about sharing information, reporting incidents, and our crime rate is down 6% in the city. We have had probably over 20 protests, demonstrations, rallies, walks, marches. Forgive me if I'm not using the right term. I certainly have gotten my steps in. A lot of the demonstrations I've been able to walk with and have enjoyed that. not only for the cause, but also the individuals that I get to meet and have conversations when we're walking. I really have enjoyed that, and all have been peaceful. Uh, we have good conversations. People talk about their concerns and questions that they have, and I enjoy that. This is a little challenging for me, being the camera thing and back and forth. Am I reading the right questions? And uh, so I enjoy the face to face, but this does serve a good purpose. And Jamie and the media relations staff really convinced me early on this was a good way to get the message out and let people interact because of the hustle and bustle in life and kids going so many different directions. I hope it is a good thing, and we'll stay with it. Timothy, it's good to have you. Larry, hey, you know what? I never go far without it, my friend. I had to make a quick run to Food Line last night because I got home. It was a late night after a traffic checkpoint. I went home and I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to go back out. Um, but that's important. So a couple things been going on. Virtual bingo. We're trying to stay connected with the community. Miss Monica White runs a virtual bingo. There are some gifts. You can register for that. That's on our online. You can look it up on online, our Facebook page. They do Monday and Wednesday from 1 to 2, but we do a virtual bingo, and I see a lot of people chiming in. It's really, really good. People have a good time, and it helps us stay connected with some of our citizens that we haven't got to see. We have our law recruit class graduation on July 2nd. It's a special day for me. That's also the same day that I was sworn in 2 years ago in this great city, this great department. But we have our graduation. 23 individuals will graduate. They will go into field training, and they will be patrolling the neighborhoods in our communities, in your neighborhoods, right, in our city. Um, one of the conversations that you know what, before I go any further, I'd be remiss. Last week I got to take part in and see high school graduations. I know it was a little different at Todd Stadium. Some days were really, really warm. Some days were cloudy with sprinkles of rain. But I'll tell you, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed seeing our high school students walk across the stage, get their diplomas. It's a little non-traditional from what it's been in the past, but I think Dr. Parker and school superintendent Rashad Wright and their team did a just amazing job, and I really enjoyed being at that graduation and seeing some of our students, some that are the young adult police commissioners. It's just really cool to talk to them, what they're doing in the future, and I really, really enjoyed that. So I want to tell all the graduates of 2020 that I'm very proud of you. May God bless you. I wish you all the best. You earned it, and I wish you the best in your endeavors as you go forward, whether it's in military, the workforce, college. I'm proud of you guys. I love you guys. I am a big passion for youth. You guys are the future, and I appreciate you, and I'm very proud of you. Um, we have so like I said, we have our graduation ceremony on July 2nd. Our promotion ceremony, we're going to promote some new sergeants and lieutenants at the end of the month, this thing in July. So we'll have two ceremonies in July. And I did have some community members involved and helped me pick the next supervision of this department. Dr. Rita Twiggs, Pastor Twiggs came in and helped us select our sergeants, and we had used Miss Angel Nelson with the Boys and Girls Club to help us select our lieutenants. So I'm excited about that. I like having the community involved to do some of they ask different questions sometimes than officers, and to have them sit at a panel and help me select the next leadership of this community. That's important. The next leadership in this department, and have that community input. That's important. So I want to thank both of them. It's a vital role, and I think it's very, very necessary and very needed to have some outside look on who are going to be making decisions in this organization. Have I missed anybody yet? I got Larry, Annette. Good to have you on board. Ralph, as soon as I think, as soon as we get in, once we go into this next phase, I think we may be good to open some doors up. I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page, but I'm looking forward to it. Domestic violence team, let me tell you, thank you, ma'am. Let me tell you, they are doing some amazing things, and I think the last time I looked, there were 5 departments outside of this state that have called in and asked, "How's that working out? How does it look?" Man, I will tell you, domestic violence is a passion of mine. To try to do different things and get that under control, and those ladies, Cheryl and Nisha, are just, man, they're doing some amazing, amazing things. They're making us look at domestic violence in a whole new lens. They're showing us that how important follow-up is, but how important when we walk through that door, that first interaction, the words that we say can set the whole tone for that call that we're on. Franz, good to have you, and thank you so much. I'm very humbled and thankful to be the chief here. This is a great department. It's a great city. Faith, it's good. Fayetteville. Is that Fayetteville, North Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Is that Fayetteville?
I think so.
Faith, I appreciate that. Thank you. Cindy, thank you for all that you do and stay safe. Cindy, thank you very much. But I will tell you, I am very, very blessed. Jonathan, it's good to have you on board. Thank you. Cindy, I'm very, very blessed, and I'm surrounded by great talent. We don't always get it right in this profession. We make mistakes because we're human, and we all make mistakes in any profession, right? But I don't know another profession that puts a body-worn camera on their uniform, and they wear it all day long. It records the interactions that they have, and I welcome that. I think it keeps us to a higher standard. We are held to a higher standard, and I'm comfortable with that. We should be. But we also have to remember that we're human and that we're going to make mistakes. And with that comes the ability and the opportunity and also the responsibility to say we're sorry when we don't get it right, to try to continue to do better. And, people tease me all the time, but I'm going to say it one time today. I won't bother saying it again. But we are better today than we were yesterday. Policing has come so far just in the 27 years that I've been doing it. But with technology and training, we're going to be better tomorrow than we are today. So we have to continue to look to improve, to do better. And my commitment is to serve and protect the citizens of this city. But with that said, I'm not going to wait for an event in Minneapolis that happened to Mr. Floyd. I'm not going to wait for that. It's horrific. I'm not waiting for that. I'm not going to wait for what happened in Atlanta with Mr. Brooks. I'm not going to wait for that. Those are tragic. We are looking already today about what we can do tomorrow. What is the next best thing? What's the next best thing out there? And we look at a lot of different things. We partner with Noble, National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. I'm a member of that board. Not that board, I'm sorry. I'm a member of that group. So I get advice and ideas, and they look at departments across the country. And then IACP, International Association of Chiefs of Police, made up of chiefs all across the United States, Canada, even other parts of the country, that look at best practices, and we all learn from each other. And that's why people come to look at our department about recruiting and how are you keeping crime down, how are you bringing new officers in, how do you vet those officers. We look at other departments on training. What's the next best thing? What's the next best in technology? How do we do some things virtual? How do we take things into the community? What else is out there to speed up the report writing? That can it do it by voice activation? Things that I never even thought about. Who has really good policies? But those things are important, that it's okay to say that we make mistakes and learn from that, to apologize to citizens, because we don't always get it right. But I think we have to have our head and our heart in the right place to try to do the best thing. And for all of us to remember that we took an oath to serve and protect the citizens of Newport News and uphold the Constitution, and do that the best that we can. Do we have bad apples in law enforcement? Absolutely. Are they in every other profession? Absolutely. But in mine, the one I chose and have served in 27 years, I don't know another profession where you can get up every day and help somebody, that you're able to interact with people, but with great responsibility, right? With great responsibility requires great action, that we do engage with citizens, we do talk to citizens, that we do invest in our youth to keep our communities and our streets safe. So everything we do is to try to be the most professional agency, the best agency that we can, but also to embrace our community and spend time with our youth and our families, our businesses, our faith leaders. And I want to thank those entities for helping us do that. Annette, how does it work when you call the non-emergency number? We reached out about a large gathering that was very loud, but the cops didn't come. What should we do in the future to get a response? We don't want to abuse 911. And that, I'd really have to look into it. Sometimes we do prioritize calls, and you're certainly right to call the non-emergency number. If I knew the time, date, I could go back and see what the response was, or did the officers go? Did they go to the wrong address? Did they go and not find anything? Did they drive through and not see anything or hear anything? Especially if times if citizens don't want the officers to come to the door and knock on the door and say, "Hey, we're here because you called." And we don't have to meet people who call, but I have to know a little bit more about it. You did the right thing, and that's a great response too. That saying you don't want to abuse it. I totally get it. Continue to call, and if you give me a little bit more data of when, time, date, all the calls that come in are time stamped, and they should all get dispatched. So if I had a little bit more, I could check more of that. But you're doing the right thing. Continue to do that. Tim, still working on getting that 300 meters in 65 seconds so I can apply. Just keep practicing, my friend. You'll get it. Keep practicing. And that's awesome. I appreciate that. Christina, how do you? Oh, wait. Here. Oh, here. I thought it said how. Here to shout out Youth Outreach. Thank you, Monica White and Rhonda Eccles, pulling in Maynard and Two-Tone to help me coordinate the virtual career day. Oh, very nice. I heard it went well. It was a great event with over 100 kids participating. So, wow, that's awesome. Christina, it's funny. I am not by any means tech savvy. I got to rely on other people to help me with that. I can admit my shortcomings, and the virus and a lot of different things that people are doing, technology and Zoom and Team and InstaChat and all those things. We're finding new ways to reach out. So it sounds like it was a really good event, and I'm glad it was able to work out. Faith, I love my new home, but I truly miss an NPD. Oh wow, Faith, I appreciate that. That's really cool. Suffolk, it's all right. I'll take it. Suffolk, okay. Well, I'm glad that you're happy, and but I do. That means a lot. I appreciate that. Jonathan, I cannot stay on for the whole thing, so I just want to say you and women are doing a great job. Jonathan, I appreciate that. I know time is busy, or you have a lot going on. People have things going on, but I appreciate you just taking a second to post that. I'll tell you, it's important for the men and women of this organization, both sworn and civilian, to see posts like that. They hear some things in the community, and they hear some conversations around the country. Top priority for me right now is the citizens of Newport News, the men and women that we serve that work, live, play, raise families here. So I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. It matters, and I thank you for taking the time. And I'll certainly share that with other members of our department. Wow, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Lisa, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Emily, Atlanta, what? I have 3 grandchildren there with you. Thank you for all you do. Emily, please stay safe in Atlanta. Here's a side note. When I was in college, we did spring training for baseball in Atlanta, and I could never get the red clay, whatever that is. I could never get it out of my uniform. Anyway. I enjoyed my time there. It's a great city. Please be safe, and thank you for that post. That means a lot. Smith, good to see you. Thank you very much. Bless you, Chief. I have to go now because Pastor Russell is live now. Yep, do your thing. I don't want to hold anybody up. Thank you very much for taking the time. I appreciate that. Krista, Chief, you're doing awesome. Chris, thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm certainly trying, but thank you. Gail, thank you for being here. Thank you for the comment. Do you have an officer that can help me? Timothy, I will tell you that I do. I know there's a couple officers here that really enjoy working out with people that to join in this department. We can get you through that run. Don't let that distract you. You reach out to us, let us know that you'd like some help, and we'll hook somebody up with you and get you through. You'll be fine. We can get that done. Susan, you're such a role model. Every city should be like. Oh, Susan, I appreciate that. I don't know about that, but I know that I think you have to stay humble, and I think you have to have be grounded, have a good foundation, and try to do the right thing, and treat people how you want to be treated, or treat people how you'd want them to treat your family. Admit that we make mistakes and try to do better. But I appreciate that, Susan. Thank you. That means a lot. David, you're doing an awesome job. Couldn't be more proud of the great men and women in Blue Star. David, thank you very much. I will tell you, this is a great organization. Like I said, every department has individuals that are doing the wrong thing or aren't in it for the right reason, or their heart's not in the right place, or are tired and give up. I think we continue to have to move forward. I think you have to reward good behavior, but I am blessed. And I thank God for the men and women that I work with, sworn and civilian both, those that are in our recruit class, those that are close to retirement, those that are in patrol and work all 3 different shifts, the men and women in our records division, the dispatchers, they don't get to see what's going on, but hear it and talk through those scenarios. the detectives that work around the clock to try to bring resolve to families who've lost loved ones or to violent acts or criminal acts, from our economic crime guys that stay on top of the technology and the banking system and trying to protect people from being taken advantage of through fraud. Our community youth and outreach that spend time with our youth and our communities to show even our civilians, right, that teach the Citizens Academy, Monica and Miss Eccles and the stuff that they do. All those things come together to create this organization, and everybody plays a role. And I will tell you, I am very, very thankful for the men and women that I'm able to work with and experience it. The assistant chiefs that I have, the talent. We don't always agree, but I try to run this organization like a family. The people that come to work here, they matter to me. They're valued. Good departments are looking to hire people all the time. And I will tell you, there are departments that are looking at leaders in this organization to come run their departments. And I would never hold anybody back. But we are very blessed here, and the talent we have, I'm just blown away. Not only the talent, but the heart and people that care. Partners in prevention are always willing to assist. Christina, thank you. That means a lot. We plan to have another virtual CPAA check-in July 16th. Yeah, let me tell you, I can't wait for that to get back. I've had, as I talk and interact with citizens in some of the demonstrations and rallies we've had, I will tell you, I have talked about Citizens Academy, and I bet I've got a list of 200 names from Monica. So, Monica, I'm going to overwhelm you when we get back and rolling. But there's a lot of people that want to get involved and engage. I think it's great. Your family may get a little mad at me as much time as you're going to be spending, but I will tell you that it's a good thing to have people interested. And Monica does such a phenomenal job. Let me tell you this. So she's a civilian, but she's a mentor to me. She has such a huge heart for people. She is a woman of faith, and how she interacts with citizens, and it doesn't matter their background or their zip code. To try to show aspects of this department and to take questions to get people involved. I am blessed to have her in this department. This community is blessed to have her, but she does a great job, and she really knows how to connect with people and has a true heart for people, and she is definitely a blessing. Keith, wanted to let you know we were looking at the date of August the 15th for the event in Ashland. Oh, okay, great. Yeah, not set in stone yet. Keith, I appreciate that. That's great. Appreciate getting to see you guys, and just let me know when it is, and I plan to be there. Peterson, good afternoon. Thank you very much. It's good to have you on board. Keisha, are parking officers starting back up again? Our parking officers. We are by the shipyard live in an area. Live in an area requires parking permits since COVID. So you talking? Jamie, is that like part of the police aids or parking enforcement?
Parking enforcement, yeah.
So we try to work that and try to be supportive of individuals. That we do get complaints on both sides. Oh, you're giving out too many parking tickets, but then the other side is they're taking up parking, and so it's a balance. We are starting to move back in that direction. Complaints are starting to come back in again. We try to work with people. I don't want to give anyone a ticket. I just park where you're supposed to be, and those that are causing issues. My first hope would be to be able to talk to someone, but it is hard because people park places that they shouldn't, and then they're not there, and we have to do something. So it's a balancing act, but yes, we are starting to move back in that direction. Are all of you stay safe and God bless. Michelle, thank you. Michael, am I reading it wrong? Mm-hmm. Michael, thank you very much. I appreciate that. One of the biggest concerns that I have, people say, Chief, what do you think about? What do you stay awake at night? Is officers getting hurt on this job. They give so much. They take time away from their families. They work around the clock. They take time away. They miss birthdays and holidays and recitals and events and baseball games. They give a lot. It's a hard profession. And that's why I think most people do it for the right reason. But I do worry about our men and women, and it makes a lot. Tracy, thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do and have done for this department and the officers here. You're loved, and I really appreciate that. Julie, hey Chief Drew, I still need to come visit you. You're thank you, truly amazing. All the men and women working department, you're a true hero. Julie, yes, let's set it up, please. If you just call in and set an appointment. Destiny, look, last year Miss Wilson was in high school. I don't know how she was doing in all her classes, but she was in high school, and now she's assistant to the chief of police, keeping my record book and making sure I'm at the right place where I'm supposed to be. She is a true asset. So, Julie, if you call in, she'll get you hooked up. Love to come sit down and talk with you, and I look forward to it. Melissa, what can the public do to show our love and support for the officers? Interact. If you see something out of place, call, let us know, pray for them, encourage them. Send in cards and letters. I will tell you, we have a newsletter every week. Can you imagine if we did it every day? They lose them. Every Friday, we do a newsletter, and I put out information to our officers. A lot of citizens will write in thank you cards or just send an email, and a lot of times we will cut that and paste it into that newsletter. That means so much to people. It means so much to people to see that citizens support us and care about us or thinking of us or praying for us. That means a lot. So, Melissa, if that's something, if you just want to write a letter or a poem, a card that you're appreciative, I'd put that in that newsletter and let every officer in this department see it. That would mean a lot. It means a lot to me that you'd even ask that. I appreciate that. Your leadership isn't over the others, but with, and it shows up in a better, safer place to live. Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Means a lot. Thank you. Keisha, loved when you stepped in and pushed the drum. Oh, Keisha, you saw that? Look, I was, she's talking about on Saturday we had a demonstration. We started at headquarters and people talked a little bit, and then we marched south on Jefferson to the alley just inside Hampton there, and Mr. Shannon had feeding, and we got to hang out and have some really good food and music and relax. But the individuals who led the march, they were playing some drums, and there was an individual in a wheelchair. Well, the individual pushing the individual in the wheelchair, I could see he was starting to get tired, and I'm no spring chicken, but I did offer to step in and help. And man, I had a really good conversation with those guys. I enjoyed it. I got my steps in, Keisha, just so you know. But it was a really good event. And like I said, in some of the demonstrations and protests, rallies, I really get to talk to people and know some people. And a lot of things that people ask or suggest that we do, we're already doing. I think this is a very, very progressive department, and that's what I hear from people that I've talked to. Even some demonstrations where I've went into the crowd and handed out my card. Some young people have called me on that. They came by and saw me, and we sit down and we've had good conversations. And they come with hard questions, and that's okay. But a lot of things that they're suggesting that we do, we're already doing and have been doing for the last year and a half, 2 years. I'm trying to find more and more ways, and I think this is one, to try to get that message out. I just did a presentation before City Council. What have we been doing? Is there anything new that we're doing since the protests and demonstrations started? And what are we doing tomorrow? And that was a good meeting, and I put a little PowerPoint together. I didn't want to kill them with PowerPoint, right? But Jamie is kind of formulating that to have it look, in correct spelling, to tell you the truth, but have it look better and put it on our Facebook page so citizens can see, that we don't use chokeholds. We don't shoot at moving vehicles. We don't teach those things. We've had body-worn cameras for 8 or 9 years. I think we were the first department in the state to have body-worn cameras. We do use of force reports on every instance where we use force. Those things matter, and people need to know that. We had a duty to inform. We didn't have duty to intervene. We changed that on Saturday, June 5th. We put that in our policy. I took that straight out of Baltimore. I thought it was written very well. I would have never thought we needed to spell it out, but some things are good to have in black and white. And I got to set the tone here. And even if I get into an argument with a citizen, the duty to intervene means whether it's verbal or physical, that anyone should intervene. And that they can intervene verbally. Chief, step back, let me talk to this citizen, or to move me out of the way, and they address the situation. And I use me as an example because if people can do it with me, I don't want people to be afraid to do it with their sergeant or afraid to do it with the lieutenant or another officer or a senior officer. The duty to intervene keeps all of us accountable. And that is one thing that we added. We've also added more supervision We're going to have a sergeant ratio, a supervisor ratio from 1 to 6. Everybody knows, or stats and evidence shows that when a supervisor shows up on a scene, uh, complaints go down and use of force incidents go down. So instead of having one sergeant or one supervisor to 8 to 10, now I'm going to have one for every 6. So two supervisors every 12 officers in patrol. That's going to be a game changer for us. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to having that. Now, that's not something that we waited to do. I'd been working on that for 3 months. And come July 3rd or 4th, right after the July 4th weekend, we'll have that in place. I'm excited. That's going to be a big push for us. The reading room. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you brought that up. Again, Jamie Bastis in the group here wanted to find a way we stay, focus of mine is youth. And that trickles down to people, right? If the chief is focused on what can we do more with youth, with school out and the virus, that we wanted to do, try to reach out to our young people, our elementary kids, and read. So they challenged us. Jamie created a studio here, and we read to young people. And I got to do it 3 or 4 times. I really enjoyed it. We started challenging each other, and then, like anything, it started to be a competition. And some people think they're more animated than others, and we had a lot of fun with that. So I really appreciate that. I hope you did like it. Kelly, good to have you on board. Thank you. Thank you for. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Julie, just retired 20 years in the military, side of law enforcement, and you truly motivate me, and I would join your department any day. Julie, I appreciate that. That threw me off a minute. Thank you, Julie. I appreciate that. And listen, thank you for your service. My father was in the Marine Corps. He served 6 years. He was in Vietnam. And my mother, she's taught elementary school, 3rd grade, for 30 years. She still talks to me like I'm in the 3rd grade. That's okay. But I am humble, and I think a lot of that comes from my faith, my upbringing, and and, and caring about other people. And I think if you have that, if that's your foundation, um, that pushes others to do the same. Does that make sense? If I treat the men and women that I work with respect and let them know they're valued, it is my hope that they put that same emotion out to our community. So, Julie, that means a lot to me. Again, thank you for your service, 20 years. You certainly deserve it. And I appreciate it. Jamie, she threw me a curveball with that. I wasn't expecting that. Kufa, I am glad to get that back. That is a group. I want to take that in a little bit different direction when they come back. I'm going to challenge that group. That's Citizens United for Action. They give me great advice and input, and I'm really looking forward to have that group back. Christina, thank you for the job you do for us. We appreciate. Christina, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Sylvia, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I appreciate that. I'll make sure I share it. Patty, good afternoon. Chief, oh wow, Patty, thank you so much. Monica, you know what? And I don't know if anybody, so look, I don't know how the technology, I don't know if people can see what other people post, but Monica, who is sitting at home and taking care of her family and doing all the things that she does here on work online, and I know it's a lot. She says, "Thank you, sir. I'm called to serve." And I can tell you that's not just something she's writing. I have seen her heart. I have seen her tears. I have seen the time that she puts in this department, in this community, people that she cares about. I've seen her in her church. I've listened to her, and she has a heart for people. And if Destiny Wilson was on here, she would tell you the same thing. Um, Monica has a big influence on people that work here, sworn and civilian, and on youth. Now, I will tell you, she cannot pick the best ice cream out of the grocery store. I've been to the shop and I've seen some of the ice cream she picks with her daughter, and some of those flavors. Try to stay traditional. You start getting out in left field with some of this stuff, and cherry jubilee, mint chalk. Look, stay traditional. But Monica, I do appreciate you, and you mean a lot to me. Britt, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I don't know about the amazing part, but I appreciate that. Gary, uh, tell me, will not put up with this statue tear down business. I saw the deface of Stevie Ray. Um, yeah, Gary, I will tell you, I think our citizens are a little different than that. And I'm not comparing us to any other department or any other city. Um, But I think here, City Council moved very, very quickly. They had a strong conversation about this one statue that we have. And they are already in talks about what to do with it, whether to move it or replace it or preserve it or to put it in a museum. They're already having those conversations. They made it, our city manager and our mayor made it very clear that they want citizen input. I don't expect any vandalism at all. There's a demonstration at that site on Friday, tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I will be with them. I'm not bringing in extra officers. I plan to walk in that crowd and talk to them and hear their comments but I don't think our citizens are going to do that. I think Newport News is kind of setting the not saying we're better than anybody else, right? I think that we're doing it different here, and I think that other cities and other states are looking at what we're doing here. That we can come together as a group and talk about issues, and I think that's when it comes to matters of the heart. That you talk about issues, our leaderships listen, our citizens, people are respectful to each other. But I'm not expecting any problems at all. But it's a great post, and I appreciate that. David, although the residents have a small business Newport News, and I wouldn't have a better place to start a business other than Newport. Wow, Dave, that means a lot, man. Thank you. Wow, I appreciate that, my friend. Our businesses matter to me. I'm not sure what kind of business you have, but man, that although a resident of what's
James City County.
James City County, I have a small business in Newport News, and I wouldn't have a better place to start a business other than, wow. Well, stay safe in James City County. I'm glad your business is in Newport News. I appreciate your service to the citizens of our city, and thank you. And it's good to hear. Thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate that. AJ, thank you for the conversation. I am always willing to listen, and gosh, let me share this with you guys real quick. And I say this out of respect for the mother who came to see me. I was in a meeting it had been scheduled. I had two ATF agents that came here, and we just were talking about next phases and what we're doing in our community and the law enforcement side and some cases that are in the federal system. And they told me that a female showed up and was downstairs and was crying, and that she was here to see the chief. And a couple people said, Chief, she doesn't have an appointment. We'll try to get it rescheduled. And I'm like, no. Let me just. I stopped my meeting and I went down. And I brought this lady up to our conference room, and I just sat across from her, and tears were rolling down her face. And she said, Chief, I wasn't leaving until I met you. And she told me that her son lost his life to gun violence in this city a couple months ago. She told me the location. I'm very familiar with the case. We will solve that case. But tears were rolling down her face, and she looked at me and she said, Chief, I just don't want you to forget my son. I just don't want him to be a statistic. And I'll tell you, man, that hit me. That hit me. And she said, with all the things going on and everything we're seeing in the community and the country, she said, please don't forget my son. And that hit me. We talked for a while. I asked her if there's anything else I could do for her. And she just told me that she was hurting. I told her about our homicide support group. But I'll tell you, that lady made an impact on me. And it re-energizes me about why we do what we do. So AJ, when your post about listening, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Stacy, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, and I'll tell you, the men and women do a lot of sacrifice here. The time that they put in to stay over, they invest in youth and work with our citizens. They do, and thank you for that. Ms. Wallace, is the Ride Along program up? It is not yet, but it is coming shortly. Please stay tuned. That's Jamie. Let's write that down. That's one thing I want to make sure we post. That is valuable, and you don't have to come and ride for the whole shift if you don't want, but I think it's important. I think you get to have some interaction. You hear that radio, you see the calls that we go on, but it is coming back. It is valuable, and I will make sure that I post that as soon as it's back up. Pray 91 over our police. Wow, thank you so much. Brian, with current issues of city council changing laws with localities gaining back the ability to restrict firearms, what are your thoughts on how you and your fire department will be asked to enforce potential new directives? Good question. Will there be any grace or education for law-abiding citizens, or weird direction only to enforce the Second Amendment Constitution? Supporters are also. So, Brian, let me say this. We are always going to handle things that, whoa, Jamie.
Hold on, he had an update. Here's his update.
Okay.
She was coming.
Mistype. Should have read. Will there be any grace and education for law-abiding citizens? So, all right, perfect. So can we go back? I was like, oh my gosh, things were flying
Sorry.
through. No. That's why you're the best, Jamie. You know. Yes, there will be. That we look. I'm not looking to charge individuals. If someone is in a facility and they're have a weapon and the laws and they ask, could you please remove the weapon? I think our citizens are going to do that. I can tell you that I'm not coming out and trying to charge people for that. It's the same thing with they had our virus. If people, only so many people are allowed, and if you're too many people together, we didn't charge anybody here. We didn't need to. We had open conversations, explained what the situation was, and we got a great response. People get it, and I think your question is spot on. What are your thoughts? What did you say? You said it really good. Will there be a grace and education for law-abiding citizens? And the answer is absolutely. We're going to have conversations. People do not always have to be arrested. Individuals do not always have to get a traffic ticket. A lot of times, citizens will push that envelope. Why are you stopping me? I don't care what the speed limit is. That's very different than, I'm late to a doctor's appointment or work. The speed got away from me. I apologize. That is two different concepts, right? It's two different ideas. And it tells an officer, hey, I understand, and then others, hey, I might not have really care for the law. But I will tell you, Brian, that's a great question, and absolutely, we will work with citizens. That is my commitment. I don't think we're going to have any problem here whatsoever. Now, there may be one or two individuals that want to agitate and push the envelope, but and we'll handle that and address it as we come forward. I just ask that citizens be respectful to us, that we be respectful to citizens. But I'm not looking to. I don't think that's going to be an issue here at all. I think the citizens here in Newport News and the events that we have here, we'll be able to address that without any problem. That's a really good question, David. David, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Did you get the teddy bear? Or is it still on the chief's desk? Oh, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, Keith, with the teddy bear. I don't know what you're talking about. It may still be on my desk, but you ain't got to put that out on block. Can we delete that, Jamie? We're able to block that out. Keisha, again, thank you, Keisha. That's great. AJ, thanks for having that conversation. That AJ, I respect you, and I will tell you this, my friend. Having that conversation probably meant more to me than it did you. I appreciate you. Proud of you. Greatly respect you, and I appreciate the time that you took. The way you handled that situation and talking with me, I appreciate that. Rick, thanks, buddy. Miss you, man. It's good to hear from you. Keep up the great work, Wendy. This community is, Wendy, I will tell you, thank you so much. I'm the one that feels lucky. I'm very blessed. I think we have great citizens. Look, I understand people get frustrated and things happen, but I think what sets Newport News apart is that we have ability to come down, sit down, and talk and reason together and talk things through. We may not always agree, but we open up with a prayer or shake hands or whatever it is, and the commitment to do the best thing for our community. Carrie, thank you. I don't unique. Is that like a way of saying I'm not sure. Is that a good thing? I don't know. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. Melissa, I'm friends with one of your officers, and he always speaks so highly of you and that you do for men and women. Well, Melissa, I pay them a lot to say that. Um, that's one of the things we learn. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I hold the men and women that come to this department in very high regard. They could go work anywhere. Departments are always looking for good people, and you see people leaving law enforcement left and right. It's not what we're going to do here. I want men and women, whether they wear a badge or a uniform, sworn or civilian, dispatchers, it doesn't matter to me. I want people to know they come into this organization, they're valued. Monica, she's valued. Destiny, Jamie, they're valued. My assistant chiefs, they're valued. The officers that are in the recruit class that are getting ready to graduate, the other classes getting ready that just started, they're valued. Detectives, they're valued. People matter to me, and I appreciate that. Cheryl, thank you. That means a lot. You have a great personality and truly care about the community. I can tell. Wow, thank you very much. That means a lot. I appreciate the response Officer Walker gave my neighborhood. Officer, I will pass that along. That's really good. Thank you. Am I all caught up, Jamie?
Yeah.
I'm good. Did I miss any?
No.
I didn't skip any. I didn't read over anybody.
No.
And you guys have been great. I'm going to go back to the board and make sure that I didn't miss anything here. We talked about our crime being down 6%. We talked about our duty to intervene that we just added, our sergeant ratio. Um, I should talk about training. We do autism, mental illness, de-escalation, bias-based, anti-bias-based policing, procedural justice training. We do those things now, but as we go forward into the future, I want to continue to build on that, right? I want to expand that. If some of you don't know, we take our recruit class for 1 week. We stop all the classwork. We take them out of the class for 1 week. We engage in the community. We work with pastors and business leaders and do things with our elementary schools and individuals who suffer from drug addiction that are homeless. We do things with church congregations. And just, I want the recruits, before they're even officers, to get to know the communities that they're going to be working in, right? To get to know the citizens. And yeah, that's important. Um, we talked about our graduation. They graduated on July 2nd. We talked about virtual bingo. That's every Monday and Wednesday. Trying to figure a way to cheat in that game, but I'll figure that out still. But there is nice gift baskets to give away to the winner. I have an interview on Monday. I'm going to work with NNTV. One of the things I found out when I talked to individuals, when they ask about, Chief, do you guys use chokeholds? Do you have body-worn cameras? I've got to continue to find different ways to get the message out. And how do I do that? And so we're going to do an interview, and I don't just want to sit and I really like the interaction. I feel kind of weird just sitting there talking to myself, so or to a little camera. So Destiny is going to join me, and she's working with emails that have come in. I'm not going to have much input on that. She's working with emails that have come in where citizens have asked questions. Her and Jamie are putting together a list of frequently asked questions, and they're going to ask me there. I don't know what the questions will be, and I really don't need to know. And I'm going to be open and transparent. But it's just another way to try to get information out. So a lot of citizens are asking the same questions, and that tells me those are some things I still got to push to get out. Jonathan, hope to see you in here. Sounds good, my friend. Will do. Good job. Hey, that's what I'm talking. Look, I appreciate that. I was sitting here one time a couple months ago, and there was some guy that chimed in and sent a message in. I got embarrassed, but they said, "Hey, Chief, Diet Mountain Dew were on sale at Food Line," and so somebody I guess had saw me there. And but I'll tell you this: after that meeting, I went out and got some. Thanks for sitting. AJ, was my pleasure. How's about a dance routine with the officers YouTube with a peppy song? How about a dance routine with officers for YouTube? Look, we tried that one time. Did you not see the video, man? Come on, can we not move on? Are you kidding me? I got I tried. What was it? We had a rally. The electric. What is it? Electric slope or something? Slide. Excuse me. Sorry. Let me retort. The electric slide, and I was bumping into people, and and this lady said, "Chief, Chief, Chief." She said, "Just stay behind me and follow me." So I finally started to get it, and then the song ended, right? But we'll talk about it. But I don't know about dancing and YouTube and all that. I don't know. Somebody get hurt, man. I'm telling you. Mary's good. Mary Jo, it's good to see you, Jeff. Please, thank you, Jeff. See, Jeff, I appreciate the support. Yeah, that's right. Look, we can do like basketball events and sporting events, and people walk away fine. We have a dance, and I lose 3 or 4 officers for 2 weeks for people getting injured. So, Jeff, thank you. Maybe we have the dog. Jeff's one of our canine officers. Maybe we can have the dogs do something. I don't know. And your approach to make a positive impact remarkable. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think that at the end of the day, we all have to hold each other accountable, and yeah, I appreciate that. John, whole subs. You're killing me. Stop making me laugh. It's supposed to be professional, John. That's okay. Good thing. Thank you very much, and that bless you. Thank you. Whole subs. $3.99. Electric slope. I'll call it that for now. Gary, I didn't know the name of the dance, man. It's all right. Electric slope. What do you? What is it? What's electric slide, right? Hey Gary, how about this? The electric slide was the dance they were doing, but for me it was more like a slope, right? I was bumping into people. No cheating at bingo. Miss Eccles, I was trying that the other day. I was watching you guys, and Destiny was all getting excited, and I was like, is there a way to call something out? But no, I know you guys run a tight ship. All right, that's cool. I had to try. That's good. You know, I think it's important that we have these conversations, and um, it means a lot. And you guys, this community and the officers, you know what? It's good to laugh. It's good to smile and joke with each other. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Miss Brumfield, I tuned in late. How are things? Things are good. I'm ready to get things back up and running and moving into our next phase. I think the governor is moving us along quickly and we're doing well. He's been very cautious and that's good. But I will tell you, I'm ready to get back in the swing of things. Laughter is good for the soul. Absolutely. Amanda, thanks for all dog videos. Amanda, I have to agree with you there because I'm sure, look, some of those dogs move better than I do. Maybe we can put something together. Amanda is works with us on our police foundation. That is a great group of individuals that we have. Um, Mr. Orlando, Rob Coleman. I shouldn't have gone down the list, but they're great supporters. Pastor Maxwell that I can interact with and mentors to me that I can have conversations with. And in our police foundation, when individuals talk about what can we do to help, sometimes there are donations given, donations, monies that we use for youth programs and youth events, to sponsor basketball leagues and kickball leagues, um, and ceremonies that we can put on. The Police Foundation just does a great job for us. They're a true asset to this department, and they help us do a lot of different things. And people give up their time to serve on that board, and people that I greatly respect.